Maybe you need like a hype person.
Are you going to be my hype person?
No, because I don't read these kinds of books.
All right, everyone. I'm looking for a hype person.
Well, what?
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
This is Alex.
This is Carla.
And this is...
What have you been reading?
Episode 5. We're so excited to keep this little show going and that people are enjoying it. We do have some friends and listeners that shared what they've been reading, so I was going to start with those.
Yep.
So Sarah G is reading Not a Happy Family and Shogun. So I'll post those later. I think Not a Happy Family was a bit scary. I should probably look these up. I forgot what they were. And then Sarah Busta is reading the Silo trilogy, which looked pretty cool. It's like a post-apocalyptic people living under a silo, and there's 3
Isn't that
books.
a show? Silo?
I don't know.
I think it's a show.
Okay. And then Misty, which ding ding ding, she also had a shout out last episode because she also shared what she was reading then, which was the book that I told you that you and Jeff would like.
Mm-hmm.
She's reading Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate, which is about kids in an orphanage. It's a historical fiction book, which she seems to be enjoying. I've had it on my list for a long time, but it seems like it'll be a heavy book, and I haven't been
in that mood.
Yeah. But I might have to up it on my list because she seems to be enjoying it. And then Lupita is reading The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros, which I haven't read, but I've read some of Rebecca's other stuff that I've enjoyed aside from The Fourth Wing. She's the same author. And this one is about, I think I had a little quote on it. Told in alternating timelines, The Things We Leave Unfinished examines the risks we take for love, the scars too deep to heal, and the endings we can't bring ourselves to see coming.
I don't know that Rebecca Yarros is for me, I guess.
I have a feeling there's probably some spicy scenes in there if it's a true Rebecca Yarros.
The different timelines, is it kind of like Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow, that movie?
I don't know what that means.
There's a movie and Gwyneth Paltrow has like 2 different timelines where like, I wish I had paid more attention. It was like she does something and in that split second, like it can go this way or the other way, and it shows you like both paths
okay,
that she could have taken.
I don't think so. I think it just means, what did I say, dual timelines or dual points of view?
I think you said timelines.
Oh.
That's what made me think of Sliding Doors. Unless I'm completely not remembering that movie correctly. It's been years. I can't be expected to remember everything.
So I just looked up Not a Happy Family, and it is a thrilling domestic suspense novel.
Oh.
Ooh.
I don't know that domestics should be thrilling. That's where like you should feel the chillest.
Yeah. This is definitely, it's not an Alex book. But it could be a you book.
And then we had on Instagram a share that one of our listeners was finished with The Dutch House.
Yes.
And that, I think she liked it.
That's great.
So, yeah. Different opinions because you weren't like super jazzed about it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's gotten a lot of really great reviews.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of people enjoy it. But,
Yeah.
that's the great thing about books.
Opinions and
people can find all sorts of things they love out there.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I was really excited about a book called A Short Walk Around the Wide World or something like that, and I loved it, and I made Jeff read it because I loved it so much, and then Andy read it and she couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
And she did not like it, and that's okay. People like different things. One thing I wanted to say about The Dutch House, since we're on that subject, that I forgot to bring up on the last episode when we talked about me reading it.
Is that why you highlighted it?
It is.
I was like, why is that yellow?
Because I wanted to make sure I brought this up. There was one line, so in that book, right, the mom leaves the 2 children behind with the dad who was not a very good dad.
Mm-hmm.
The son grew up with a lot of resentment towards the mother for leaving and never really being able to forgive her for leaving, whereas the daughter seemed to be, and the daughter was older, seemed to be much more forgiving about her mom leaving them. And then when they were older, I think that the daughter was like in her 50s or something, she had this line, because they were talking about it and how the brother couldn't get over the mom leaving them. And she said, it's what men do all the time, and we let it slide.
Mm-hmm.
But when a woman leaves her children, she's this awful monster person. And I don't know why that hit me a little deep, because it's true, the way that we view one gender leaving versus the other.
Yeah. Well,
not to say that it's not terrible also when a husband or father leaves, but I think as a society we accept it more.
Deadbeat dads, and the fact that there's a phrase, a term for it, is kind of it kind of shows how often it happens. Yeah. I think you can be a deadbeat dad even if you're present.
True.
So,
and same for moms, right? I mean, there's terrible moms out there as well.
I think it might also have to do with the fact that you say that the mom leaves and the dad isn't great. So it's not like they had a positive parental figure regardless. And I think that most of the time what you hear when dads leave and there's a single mom, the kid is always like, my mom was the best.
Yeah, my mom worked so hard.
Yeah, so there's a difference also maybe, and maybe that's why that person in that book couldn't get past the mom leaving. Yeah. It's because they still didn't have any emotional hand-holding. Yeah.
I just thought it was such an interesting kind of view of...
But it is true. I think that we have way more... higher expectations.
Yeah, like you expect the mom to stay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not that you expect the dad to leave, but I mean, in my family history, I didn't grow up with a dad. Most of my cousins grew up with just their mom, so it is kind of normalized in a sense in my family. We just had like my mom and my aunts, and we all kind of grew up together as, single parent households until my aunts kind of remarried later on or had other partners. But yeah, it was kind of normal in our family. And the same thing, my grandmother had 3 different fathers for her children, and she raised all of her kids on her own. Like, none of those men were around.
Oh, dang, that sucks.
So yeah, like our family history is definitely...
Dude, that blows. I would hate to be the older child in that household. Yeah. Because it's like you are attached to one dude, your actual dad, and then he goes, and then a second person comes along, and you feel like, oh, maybe this is going to be the person that I grow up with, and then it's not, and then the third person leaves too.
I don't think the dads were ever around very long for emotional attachment.
Oh, that's jarring.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my grandma should write a book. But they're all doing great. Like, she did a really good job raising them, and all 6 of them are good humans.
I can say that my dad sucks. My dad sucks.
Yeah. Should we dive into the daddy?
Yeah, I mean, that just kind of encapsulates it. Yeah. He has a really bad personality.
Do you still talk to him?
No, I haven't spoken to him in years. Yeah. Because the last time I spoke with him, he just, I was kind of like, I've always kind of been the kind of person that's like, you know what, if this doesn't serve me, I'm going to walk away. And it takes me a while. Very healthy. Yeah, but it takes me a while to get there. Yeah. Like, I'll keep things in the back of my head, and I'll be like, is this good? No. Let's move forward. And then it's like, is this good? No. Okay, let's see what happens next. And then but then as soon as I reach like a decision,
yeah, then you're done.
And I'm done. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna extract myself from this. And sometimes it's not even like a conscious decision. It's just like, I don't know, it's like you know that Winnie the Pooh meme when he's like on the floor and Winnie the Pooh's like spirit like lifts out his body. I guess that's like me. I'm just like, okay, bye.
I'm out.
Yeah.
You're out.
So, yeah, I stopped speaking to him a lot of years ago because I realized like I'm not getting anything emotionally nurturing out of this. Yeah. And I'm wasting my time. Like, yeah. I could be doing something else. I could be scratching my frickin' belly button, and that would be a better use of my time. Yeah. So, I'd rather, like, do that. So, I just remember that, like, the last conversation that I had with him, I was cutting it short, and he was asking me why I was trying to get off the phone. And I told him that I needed to wash the dishes.
Should I have to wash my hair?
Yeah, I have to go. I have to not continue this. So that was the end of that. And yeah, we haven't spoken since. And it's been fine.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll wonder how I'm going to feel. Like,
you'll have any regrets later?
Yeah, because like, let's say that like things happen chronologically and he dies first.
Yeah.
Right?
As they should happen.
I mean, I could get hit by like, I don't know, a bicycle. And
that's going to be the thing that takes you out.
Well, because
it's like, really cute little bike.
Well, it wasn't going to be a bus because like that happens, like that's such a saying. You know, that's like such a thing that people say. You just want to be different.
You want to go out differently.
I needed it to be like ridiculous.
Does it have a bell in the basket?
You know that it like, you know that as I like roll around, it's like ding ding ding.
Now every time I hear a bike bell, I'm gonna think of your dad.
Like the springs like go like boing. Anyway, so let's say like if he dies first, which hopefully he does, because I don't want to die anytime soon.
Yeah.
And he's older, so I do wonder if I'm gonna feel.
Do you think you would find out? Like, do you have mutual family or people?
So the uncle that I did speak to from that side of the family died last year. So he was like kind of like my bridge to that part of my family. His daughter, we do speak to each other, my cousin. So I think she would tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. I'm probably going to have some guilt.
Yeah.
But
I think I don't know. I've been fortunate that I haven't had any like super close relatives die yet. Knock on wood. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's always a sense of guilt.
Yeah.
Around, like whether you did or didn't do this thing or that thing, I think there will always be a thing that you will feel guilty about. And I think you're doing what's healthiest for you right now.
Oh, yeah. And like, even if I do feel guilt, I still am pretty good about sticking to my guns and realizing that I'm doing what I think is best.
Yeah.
Whether it is correct or not, this is what it is. There's no going back. And there's no, like, I'm not going to regain the years that I've chosen to alienate myself from him.
Yeah.
So, and from what I understand, from what I heard regarding
through the grapevine,
regarding like the interactions that were had when my uncle died, he sounds like he's still, not cool. He sounds like he's still a mean person. Which, by the way, my mom says that I inherited that from him.
Oh,
no! She says that, like, that when I'm being a jerk, she's like, yeah, you're just like your father sometimes.
Oh, no!
And thanks, I'm like,
Mom. One of the books I read was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, which is a big...
Oh, wait.
Oh, yes.
Are we going to get into it? What have you been reading, Alex?
I figure this is a good transition because in that book, there is a mom who has kind of a toxic relationship with her daughter, and the daughter's really trying to keep this relationship going until she kind of has the realization that you did, which is, this relationship maybe is not the best relationship for me. And I've read this in other books where the main characters kind of handle these toxic relationships with family or parents. Like, oh, it's got to be so hard to come to that decision where you think this person that raised me, whether good or bad, is someone I don't want to have in my life anymore. Like, the relationship that I have with them is so not healthy for me that I need to walk away from it. I think that would take a lot of guts to do.
I think.
So kudos to you.
Thanks. I mean, distance helps.
Yeah,
so
that's true. And they're not around. Or you don't have a lot of people kind of in common. But so that was one part of Just for the Summer. And that's one of the big, I would say maybe a blockbuster summer book. Oh, if that's a thing. I'm sure it's a thing. But that one and like The Paradise Problem.
Is it really popular?
It is.
Okay.
in the circle of those kinds of like romance books, because it is a romance. So it's been on my list for a long time, and it finally came up on my Libby, so I got to read it. And it's this girl who's a traveling nurse, stemming from the issues with her mom. So she like never stays put in one place, and she does like, I don't know, like a 3 or 6 month contract somewhere, and then moves on to another place and another place, like never staying put. And that's her main issue, is committing to a place and forming relationships with people.
Ooh, that reminds me of that Dido song.
Ooh,
Life for Rent. Listen to that song, y'all.
but it was good. I enjoyed it. Again, I think those books that are super hyped are hard for me to keep the hype up. I don't know, I feel like I expect so much from them that maybe I'm easily disappointed.
Oh.
Maybe it would be a really good book if I wasn't expecting it to be a great book that everyone's talking about.
What if you were reading it with someone and you were hyping each other up? Because, like, maybe that's why you don't feel that way, because when people are hyping it up, they're, like having conversations.
Yeah.
Or, like, doing their book talks or whatever the heck.
Yeah.
And they're, like, you know,
and
like...
I'm just all by myself.
Yeah.
Reading this little book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you need, like, a hype person.
Are you going to be my hype person?
No, because I don't read these kinds of books.
All right, everyone. I'm looking for a hype person.
Well, what?
But it wasn't. I liked it. I liked the relationships between like the main characters. Why are you laughing at me?
It's not at you. I think it's funny how you were like, "Are you gonna be that person for me?" And I'm like, no way.
I would expect nothing more, Carla. You just crush my dreams of being a hype person.
Look, I gave you the idea of getting a hype person.
Okay.
I think I've done my part.
So now I just need to put a search out there.
That's what it is.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so she's a traveling nurse. She meets this guy through Reddit, which I thought was interesting.
Ew.
Yeah. And then...
Whatever. If you find your person through Reddit, like, get over it, okay?
That's fine.
Like, I'm not judging you. I don't care. Go meet people through Reddit. I did say ew.
You did.
Go find your person. Whatever.
Go find your person. As long as you find your happily ever after.
Sure.
But it was good. I'm glad I read it. And yeah, so I read that one, and I read The Lost Bookshop is our book club book. Have you started it?
No.
Okay, should I skip it for now?
No, go ahead. I don't care.
Oh, are you sure?
100% sure. Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, so it's The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. And I loved it.
Why did you write Nellie Bly on the notes?
Because we read that book in book club. Remember, Nellie Bly was on there?
The 80 days around the world.
Yes, and there is a shout out to Nellie Bly in the book.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
While I am super, like, I think it's amazing what she did, super cool with it, love it for her, I was so bored.
I don't think it was my favorite book. I don't remember loving it. I think, again, the topic was cool, kind of like the Henrietta Lacks book.
Yeah. Oh, I loved the Henrietta Lacks book. Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
I still think about Henrietta Lacks.
Oh, poor Henrietta.
Like, I'll be driving down the damn 91 freeway and I'm like, yeah, those cells, man. Like, I still think about the Gila cells.
Yes. See, I like that book, again, because I feel like I learned something.
Mm-hmm.
I love the historical knowledge, and I feel like it made me a little bit smarter and more aware of things. Same with the Nellie Bly. I wasn't captivated by it.
I think it was too old-timey for me. Like, I could feel the old-timiness of it. I just...
Corsets.
Yeah. I could feel it, and, like, no. I did not enjoy that old-timiness to it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with old-timey, and, like, we read books that are set, like, back in the Stone Age all the time. However, in this one, I don't know, there was something about it that it was just, like, it was too 5-cent taffy for me. So
5-cent taffy?
Is taffy more expensive now? 1 penny taffy. It was too 1 penny taffy for me.
I love it.
But with the Henrietta Lacks one, I like that it triggered thoughts in my head regarding the medical advances that we have through things that are not ethical.
Yes.
Not just that, but like I'm not gonna dive into like other things that are unethical because it's like super. You really have to be very respectful of like the pain that was caused during that time. But like I feel like that is such an important conversation to have and like as a society. Like
I felt that way about like reading the Underground Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we read that one? That was another one that I felt was really heavy and dark, and it was really hard to read, but I felt, and Small Great Things is the other one that I point out a lot.
I don't think I read
that was the one where the black nurse was accused of the white supremacist baby. The dad was the white supremacist. I did read that.
I feel like I cried in that book.
I know. Those two are really heavy, but I feel kind of the same. Like, I feel like we almost have an obligation as a society to read those books to know
just
what's been done and give us perspective. Yeah, but they're not happy. Well, they're not happy ending, rosy colored
no
books. But I think they're important. But in the Lost Bookshop, it's dual timelines. So there's a woman who's a contemporary kind of to Nellie Bly. So in that timeline, and her brother is trying to marry her off, and she's like, "Screw that! I'm not marrying someone I don't know," and basically runs away to go open her own like antique bookstore, and ends up running away from home and having to hide from her brother and all of this stuff. But in the book, she's referencing.
He looks for her?
Yes.
Leave her alone.
It was, it's a little creepy. But she says she wants to be kind of like Nellie Bly. Like, she wants to be kind of a modern woman and doing her own thing. And she obviously had to jump through some hoops to do that. And then there's a separate timeline that's in modern day, and it's people trying to find the bookshop that woman was working in. So it's really cute. There's, obviously a lot of discussions about books and reading and that kind of stuff. So that was really cute. And then the other thing I found interesting that I wanted to talk about. So in the old storyline, right, she's collecting these antique books, and there's all of these discussions about, like certain prints and what makes them special. And it made me think about today and how, everyone self-publishes, which I think is great. It gives everyone an opportunity to do it. But I wonder do you still have that? Like, do you still have people that look for rare or antique prints when there's really so much saturation of books and printing?
Well, I'm sure that you still have people that look for rare prints from
yeah, but
like,
past. Do you think there's anything?
We're not. No, the aliens are not going to be cataloging us that way.
Do you think there's still an art to book publishing like there was before? I mean, they're talking about the covers and these beautiful covers, and it made me a little sad when I was reading that, to be like, oh, now it's just there's so much material, and everything is printed in such large quantities, obviously, because everybody wants one, but you don't have that like small print and distribution anymore that makes something rare and special.
Ooh, I've seen how those get made, and like the glue and like the sewing of the pages.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to have that again. We don't know.
I do think there's a lot of people, I've seen like reels and stuff where people do their like the edging of the book. They'll do like the paint, like spray painting of the edges, or they'll rebind a book.
That's cute.
To make it pretty, which I think is kind of cool. I don't know that I have a book that I would be like, oh, this book I want to spend. I don't know how much it costs, but I mean, anything over $10, I'd be like, nah. I'm sure it's a lot more.
You're talking about rebinding.
Exactly. I'm like, I don't think there's a book that I would ever spend what it is worth.
Yeah.
Right, to do some. I don't know, maybe my Beartown trilogy from Frederick Bachman. Those are big books for me. I do have a hard copy of The Winners. Ooh, maybe I should look into it.
I don't know any of these books.
Oh, Carla.
Okay. Why did you get that look on your face?
It's my favorite series.
Okay.
Kind of maybe like The Dark Tower.
Okay.
Is to you. But yeah, it gives me all the feels. The writing is amazing. And it just takes you on this journey, man. I cried with every book, and I laughed with every book. And it just takes you to like the highs and lows. of human emotion. Oh, they're just mwah,
You know how
beautiful.
I feel about emotion.
You avoid it.
When I can.
Yeah, maybe this is not the series for you because it does make you feel all the feels.
Oh, feelings.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotions.
They can be a nuisance.
But they're expressed so beautifully. Like,
oh, I do like that.
that's like Frederick Bachman is just a great writer. Like the way that he writes and the words that he picks. And I could go on forever, but
I do love a good word.
yeah.
Ooh, a good sentence.
Then get my highlighter out.
I don't highlight anything, but like a good sentence, I'll screenshot that.
Yeah.
I'll screenshot it.
I keep quotes.
I remember you used to have like a notepad, or you might still have a notepad.
I've transitioned to a Gmail draft. So I just keep a draft going in my email with my quotes. I haven't done anything with them yet. I have this grandiose idea that someday I'm going to do this thing with them.
The reason that I know about that thing is because of a Halloween party at Adrian's house where I had a headpiece on.
Did I write something down?
Yes, you did. Because Julian, like, he pointed at my headpiece because I don't remember. It was, I was wearing a blue sequin dress. I was like a flapper. I don't know. I was something. And I had a headpiece. And he pointed at my head. And he was like, headpiece? And I was like, what? Because I was at a party. So I was like, what? And he was like, headpiece? And you were like listening in. And you were having like a ball because you were not hearing headpiece. You were hearing herpes.
He's pointing at you saying herpes.
So he's pointing at the top of my head in your mind saying herpes. So that's why I know about that notebook, because you wrote it down.
I did also I used to keep quotes of just our group of friends.
Okay.
Because we were funny. Now we don't hang out as often.
Yeah.
Now my quotes are book related. Which is fine, right? There's nothing lame about that.
You know what? As we evolve,
yeah,
we have to accept our evolution.
This is my evolved state. Yeah.
It's fine.
But yeah, that was a fun part of life where I kept quotes of all the funny things we said. So yeah, that was The Lost Bookshop. I loved it. I thought it was great. And I'm excited for book club.
Okay.
And you had gotten the wrong book.
So when you posted about it and I saw the cover, I was like, what the hell is this?
This is not what I have.
And then, you know what? I feel like I had a flicker of knowing something was off.
Yeah.
When you mentioned the author.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said it's by Evie Woods. And I was like, okay. And then...
What if this whole time I was reading the wrong book? What if you got it right?
Oh, shoot. Shook? What's your book, Shook? I don't know. But I had the Lost and Found Bookshop.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was not the book. The good thing is that as is my nature, I have been a very bad book club member. And I hadn't even read the first page. And I still haven't. So
you've got 1 week.
I know. But I don't know.
Oh, you won't be the only one. Our book club is pretty infamous for people not reading.
Yeah.
As long as we have like 2 people that read it, you can have a discussion.
And now that you've told me what it's about,
you're not going to be inclined to read it?
Maybe I will. I don't know.
I really liked it. I thought it had like magical realism, which I like when it's in like a small dosage.
Mm-hmm.
You know? There's just enough magic in there to make me feel like it could happen. You know?
I'm making a face.
Carl is making a disbelieving face. What was that? There was the Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe was a book that I read last year that was kind of like that. It's like contemporary time with just a little bit of magical sprinkled in.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like. I don't think I've read that kind of book.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I would like it.
You should read The Lost Bookshop and see what you think.
Maybe I will.
Let's see. Was there anything else? Oh, I just started reading. Oh, okay.
You were very good You are a very good book reader.
Well, I went camping.
Uh-huh.
So I had a lot of drive time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I read just for the summer, mostly on my camping trip. And then I started reading The Lost Bookshop on the last couple days. So it gave me some good chunks of time for reading, which was fun. I will say I was really proud of myself because I only took my Kindle.
And you had a whole car of space this time.
I know. It makes no sense. Because I could have taken all the books with me this time. And I was like, I don't need to. I have XYZ on my Kindle. I don't need to take any hardcover books. But I have an ARC that's coming home to Tuppeny Bridge.
Tuppeny Bridge.
It's a series of books that take place in this little quaint little town in London. And I read one last year, so this one came up on NetGalley, and I requested it, and now I'm reading it, and I realized I didn't really like the first one. And I'm not really liking this one either. But there are crossover characters, which I love. You know, I love when there's characters in a book that you've read before, and they make an appearance in this book. And I'm like 70% of the way through, and now I feel like I have to...
Oh, yeah. What's 29 to 30% more?
I was going to question your math, but I'm glad you got to 30.
Well, you wrote down 71.
I did. So. I really took it straight from my Kindle.
Look, I will not be...
I was like, 20, 70 is not...
I will not...
100.
There will be no disparaging.
Your math skills. You can disparage my math skills.
Not publicly.
So yeah, it's quaint and cute. It just drags a little. Like it keeps rehashing these same things over and over again. And I'm like, get to the point, you know?
As I like to say, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Wrap
exactly.
It up. You wrote down older romance. Does that mean that they're oldies? So
the main character in this book, in the last one that I read, the couple was youngish, like in their 20s, which is, I think, pretty typical for kind of romance tropes and stuff. But this one, the main character is in her 50s. She's like 50 and the guy's like 53, which I find kind of refreshing to just have a different... So it's not like the same people discovering things in their early 20s or like young romance. It's two people that have led most of their lives. Like, yeah, the main character has been married and divorced and the guy's been through stuff too. It's just an interesting... It's kind of refreshing to be reading a different age group. So I liked that part. But yeah, it kind of drags a little bit, but I still want to find out how it ends. Right. And I do like the overlapping characters, which I think is always cute. Okay. And then my last one, I just started last night. So we did, a few friends of mine and we met up and just had like a reading date, which was pretty fun for a little Friday night. Okay. And I decided I did not want to waste my reading date on that coming home to Tuppeny?
I think it's Tuppeny.
I think it's Tuppeny. I don't know why I'm having such a hang up on it. So I decided to start a book that Andy gave me, which is another Abby Waxman book. It's her most recent one. It's Krista Comes Out of Her Shell. And oh my God, I love that author. She's so clever and witty and funny that I already have I have little tabs for it because it's a hard copy book that Andy lent me. And I already have a bunch of tabs on all of the funnies. So I'm really excited to dive deeper into that one.
What is it about?
Oh, yes. Well, I just started it, but Krista is the main character, and she is a scientist doing work on this remote island, which made me think of the Paradise Problem, which was also on a private island. But she's coming home because her father, who had disappeared 25 years ago, his plane crashed in Alaska, and he disappeared, and they never found him. He has all of a sudden popped up alive. Yeah. So now she has to go back home and kind of deal with all of that.
Was he lost or was he just living his life for...
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. Spoilers. I feel like we need a sound effect.
Well, you already have a hand signal for it.
I had my hands on my mouth. A little... Spoilers.
What is that? Bullhorn.
A
You have a
bullhorn.
bullhorn.
He crashed, and then he met a woman who rescued him, and he decided
his family
to stay
back
with
home?
her. Yeah, he did.
Cool.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him. I'm glad that he got
So,
to live and his family got to be traumatized by the
Yes.
fact that he crashed and probably died and
yeah.
suffered a horrible death,
And
probably.
then 25 years later, he just gets to pop out and be like, hey, I'm still here, actually.
My wife just died, and now I need you to do emotional work. I knew it!
Yes.
I knew it! Because why else is he going to pop up?
Yeah.
Why else? Because he needs someone else to do emotional work for him. Fuck that guy.
So I've just gotten to that point, actually, where he tells a story on an interview with Oprah on TV.
Oh, and he's famous for it.
Well, he was famous before he went down. He was like he had a show about nature stuff, I think.
I would find this man so ridiculous if he were like a person that I knew. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, yo, you're not a good person.
Well, what I'm picking up from
and you're
the
not
character
invited to eat nachos with me.
So far is that he was very much, he liked being the center of attention and was very much a showman. So I think even his family now, as we're watching the interview, because they haven't seen him yet.
He's giving an interview before he even says hi to his kids?
Yes, and they're pissed.
As
obviously.
they should be.
But they're like, oh yeah, he's just, eating it up for the cameras because that's what he does. And how dare he obviously go on TV with Oprah before even coming to see us.
Honestly, this man needs to get hit by a bicycle.
He does. And then maybe be gone for reals.
Fuck that guy.
But I'm excited. I like the author.
I actually hope his family shuns him.
It seems like no one seems to be super happy with him.
Good. A good old-fashioned shunning is due.
So, yeah, it's exactly where I am. They just went through the interview, and they haven't seen him yet. And I'm excited to see where this goes. Mm-hmm.
Who's riding that bicycle? Who?
Somebody better be riding it. So, Carla, what have you been reading?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you that I finished reading Once Upon a Broken Heart, and it was difficult.
Yeah.
I had to switch from reading it with my eyeballs to hearing it because, it was just going so slowly, and I was like, can we get to the point?
Yeah.
Can we get to
Wrap
the point?
It up.
I feel like there was so much going on, and none of it was super duper interesting to me. But I'm invested. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah.
Just tell me the dang story. Just tell me. So basically, okay, so I switched over to hearing it, which was so much better because I could actually do other stuff while I was
listening to it at 1.5 or something.
No, I haven't done that, but I'm thinking about doing that for the third book.
Yeah. So you're still.
Oh, I went into the second book and I finished the second book yesterday, 2 days ago, something.
And I'm saying you feel invested, kind of like Akatar, you feel invested enough that you have to read the next one, even though you're looking for some wrap-up.
I'm looking for the point. Yeah. I really want to get to the point. I feel like maybe I need to work on that, because, it's a book. I need to relax.
Give me your summary, your top 5 bullet points.
Let's get through it, I feel like this lady could have made 3 books into 2, but whatever, whatever. It's cool. It's not.
It's not. I was going to say, it's obviously not.
It's not cool. But, so, okay. You remember how I was like, Marisol's not bad? Mm-hmm. The sister?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
This biatch Oh my god. Okay, and also remember how I was like, she's going to the ball, but just for the funsies. She doesn't want to get picked. You know what? I think that maybe I was just like not being a good reader because like she totally wanted to get picked. Oops.
I told you. Dude, I'm not even reading the book and I knew it.
Look. I didn't know. Yeah. Even though I read it. You didn't remember how many years the Paradise Project people were married for.
But I knew what was coming on that one.
So, she does...
How do you remember that, Carla? How do you remember what I don't remember?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, because I laughed about it. That's how. Because you were like... Your voice went really high-pitched and I was like, okay. I will not bring that up again.
Until now.
Yeah, you can't expect much from me in terms of like letting things go.
Well, and you can't expect much from me as far as remembering anything.
That's fine.
Let's just make our expectations clear here on this little podcast.
To everybody, including you guys. We
sorry,
are a mess.
Sorry.
So she goes up there and she does want to like find someone to love because Luke obviously sucks, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Luke is the dude that was going to marry Marisol, her sister. So, okay, she marries the prince.
Yeah.
But it turns out that he's...
Surprise, surprise.
Look, she marries the prince. She meets his brother, who he's kind of like in a fight with. And then Jax... Oh, the fate that did the stone curse, his name is Jax.
Okay.
He's there, but he's not there as the fate. He's there as the prince's friend.
Okay.
And, oh, okay, so their deal was that he was going to stop the wedding, and she was going to kiss 3 people for him, and his kiss kills, by the way. Look, okay. I told you there's a lot. His kiss kills. She's supposed to kiss 3 people of his choosing, at his choosing of time. And so he chooses the prince. And then... So I don't remember what happens. The point is... Oh, yeah, he dies.
Wrap it up, Carlo. What's the point?
The prince dies on their wedding night.
Okay.
She tells him that he's under a curse and, like, that's why he's, like, he thinks that he loves her. And then he dies. She thinks, holy cannoli, did I kill him?
Yeah.
And then she gets framed for his murder, so she has to go. And then the girl that she met at the ball and made friends with, her name is Lala. She ends up being
Lala.
I don't like that name.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all right. I think it's kind of fun.
Lola would be better.
Anyhow.
It's fine.
Okay, so what happens with Lala?
So Lala is also a fate. She is a fate who wants to marry and never marries, and she cries about it, and her tears are poison.
Oh, jeez.
So she thinks...
Do people capture her tears? Does she capture them?
She sells them.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, she sells them sometimes.
Yeah. Big business right there.
Yeah. So that's when she finds out that Marisol may have been the person who bought the tears. And maybe that's why Apollo's dead. Oh, Apollo is the prince.
Okay.
So it's a big old mess.
Wow.
It's a mess. Can you imagine reading this?
No.
It's so much.
Too much.
So
I'm glad you can walk us through it instead.
Sorry about it. There's a lot more. So then there's also freaking vampires. So
which Carla and I have been talking about vampires. And
that we're going to be book vampires.
We'll talk about that later.
So then, okay, so Jax has to take Evangeline to the vampires for reasons that I do not remember. So when she's at the vampire lair, there's a bunch of people in cages, and there's a bunch of cages and those hand holdy things. What are those called? Shackles. Ooh. So there's shackles and there's cages, and Evangeline was like, holy cannoli, right? So then she she sees, like, she's looking at people, like, and they're, like, on, like, a chessboard and stuff, and she thinks, oh, it's like that kissing game that they had at the ball. But
I'm thinking of a Ouija board.
No. So they're, like, in a chessboard, but it's people, and there's, like, humans, and there's vampires, and she's like, oh, snap-a-doodle, what's gonna happen? So what happened is that all those people are there to get bitten.
Ooh.
Okay. So all those people are there to get bitten, to be turned. So apparently vampires can either...
This is a lot.
It is a lot. It's, like I've been telling you guys, too much. Which is why I needed to switch to audio, because I was...
Yeah.
Because even though there's so much, I was bored shitless.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Like, I was bored, but I was, like, also, like, okay, what's going to happen next? It's a really weird space to be in your head, because it's, like, you don't want to be there, but you also can't leave. So anyway, they all get bitten, right? And it's explained to her that a vampire can either just, like, chomp on you and just eat you, or they can infect you with their venom, so that if you then feed on a human before dawn, you turn into a vampire.
Oh boy.
But if you don't, then I guess nothing happens, which is kind of lame. I would have been like, I would have preferred for people to die terribly if they didn't feed, you
Painfully.
know? That would have been better.
Slowly.
like there has to be a consequence. Anyway, whatever. Apparently there's no consequence. So anyway, oh yeah, I remember why. It was, no, I don't remember why. Who cares? So anyway, so she's like leaving, right? And somebody calls her name and they're like, Evangeline. And she's like, oh my God, what? Guess who's in a cage? Oh, also the people that just got bitten, they get put into a cage because they need to prove themselves that they're, like, I don't know, badass enough to, like, escape their cage and go chomp on someone. So then,
wow,
this person that's inside of this cage, guess who it is?
Who is it?
Luke. I know. So then,
oh my word.
I know. So what happened is that, remember how I was telling you that they had tried to marry before while she was stoned and they couldn't because, like, they kept, like, coming across, like, issues and, like, he felt like he was cursed?
Yeah.
He was attacked by a wolf. That was, like, the last thing that happened to him. And so he got all messed up, right? Like, he was not cute anymore. And Marisol had told Evangeline that she didn't care, like, she cared for Luke and blah, blah, blah. Not true. So Luke is telling her, yo, so what happened was that when I was going to, like, visit you at the house, she was always there.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then I remember one time she helped me with my coat and she touched the back of my neck, and ever since then, I couldn't stop thinking about her. She effing cursed Luke. I thought it had been the mom that had cursed Luke.
Yeah. That
had, like, given him, like, a witchy potion or whatever to, like, have him leave Evangeline and marry the sister, Marisol, her daughter. But no, it was totally Marisol herself. He's like, so Marisol, like, totally, like, you know, bedazzled me or bamboozled me or whatever. And he's like, and I had been trying to go visit you and she got me. He got.
He got.
So then he's like, after that, I couldn't stop thinking about her. I couldn't, he was in a fog. So then when he couldn't marry her and then he got attacked by the wolf, he tried to go, like, continue to be with Marisol, and Marisol was like, ew.
No thanks, now that you're a werewolf.
Yeah, now that you're ugly and are all scarred up. So he had heard that vampire venom was, like, an antidote to a lot of things.
Oh, so he went looking for it.
So he went looking to get bitten.
Yeah.
So that he wouldn't be ugly.
So that Marisol
would take him back.
Woof, Carla.
But with that venom, he also got cured of her witchcraft.
Oh, that's good.
So that's why he was like,
so
Evangeline!
Now he wants Evangeline back.
Evangeline!
So is that were book 2?
No, that's book 1.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Sorry, Alex.
Carla, you're going to have to wrap it up.
I can't. So she, like, feels bad for him, but she's like, I don't know. she's stupid. She gives him something to help him escape the cage, and then she tries to run with Jax, and Jax is like, you're dumb. And she's like, being Evangeline, because she's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So then she does things that, like, infuriate me. Anyway, whatever. So she tries to help Luke, and then she tries to get away, and Luke is like, bam! He's out of his cage, like, lickety-split. And Jax is like, oh shit, he's gonna totally, like, chomp on Evangeline. So Jax gets bitten instead.
Oof. Okay.
Whatever. So now Luke is a vampire. Jax goes through, like, one full night of, like, trying to, like, kill Evangeline, because he also wants to bite her now, because now he has the venom.
Yeah.
Which means that Luke wasn't trying to kill Evangeline. Luke was trying to turn Evangeline. Which I think is kind of nice, right? He wasn't trying to kill her.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyway, whatever. So then Evangeline is, like, feeling weird about Jax. Which is, like, I told you she's gonna, like, totally fall for Jax. Who's kind of annoying in his, like, assholiness. Okay, so then it's found out that Marisol went to go buy yet another witchcraft book. And that witchcraft book is, like, supposedly, like, super crazy. Like, it's a little scary book.
A little dark magic.
Mm-hmm. But she's not the one who poisoned Apollo. She just did the witchcraft on Luke. It turns out that Apollo's brother was the reason for his death.
Okay.
And it wasn't that he was trying to kill his brother. It was that he was trying to kill Evangeline.
Ooh.
Because... And here's the crux of the matter. She is a key.
Ooh.
She is...
You mean the defenseless, not very smart female character is super important and powerful.
That's the one.
Got it.
She is a door opening key. So her blood...
like in Ghostbusters.
I don't know. I don't remember. Okay. What happened? Anyway,
never mind.
I don't know. Okay. So with her blood, she can open any door. With her willing blood, she can open any door. However, this particular door that Jax is interested in opening and that the vampire dude is opening, his name is Chaos. That Chaos is interested in opening. They need 4 stones.
Okay.
For her to be able to open this door, which is from, like, an old family from back in the day that all got murdered.
Ooh.
Now, it is said that within these doors, it's either, like, a terrible monster that they created could not control, and that's why everybody turned on them and beheaded them.
Cool.
Or it's, like, full of power, and, like, that's why Jax wants to get in, right?
Is it a 50-50?
It's an unknown, because remember that any story from the north gets warped.
Oh, I do remember.
Yeah. So, like, nobody knows because nobody can tell the story.
Yeah.
This is so much. So then...
Yeah, what's the Cliff Notes version?
This is the Cliff Notes version. So then Tiberius, the brother, gets locked up. Marisol gets, confronted by Evangeline. Marisol tells her, yeah, I was jealous of you. And then so Evangeline thinks to herself, oh, well, maybe we can, she's coming...
she's being honest.
I can be honest about the fact that I'm the one who did the stone curse thing. Yeah. But Marisol gets super pissed.
Well.
And she's like, here's Apollo's killer. Oh, by the way, Apollo's brother has not been put away yet. But anyway, whatever. So she's the one who like, tells on Evangeline. Anyway, whatever. So Marisol is awful.
Yeah.
I do not like Marisol. Marisol's like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've gone really long. We're going to cut here, and then we're going to talk about The Ballad of Never After, which is book 2 of, it's the continuation of Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. And we're also going to talk about what I read in A Court of Silver Flames, which I am almost done with it, kind of done with it, and also Broken Bayou.
Ooh.
So that is coming up on the next episode.
So make sure you tell us what you've been reading and follow us on Instagram. Let us know what you think about the podcast on we are on Amazon and
Apple
and Spotify.
We also have a Twitter account.
That's right.
Yeah. But it's not like I just update when we have new episodes up.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
So yeah, let us know what you think and what you've been reading. Happy reading.
Bye.